I-16 Property, Plant and Equipment. Recognition to cease incidental operations. This is a summary of the total content of I-16. Accounting treatment comprises recognition, measurement and disclosure. This presentation will focus on measurement and specifically initial measurement. It will also focus on some sundry aspects in this regard. Paragraph 20 of I-16. Recognition of costs in the carrying amount of an item of PPE ceases when the item is in the location and condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in the manner intended by management. So what do we deal with here? When do you stop adding costs to the cost price of PPE? What did we learn in I-16, paragraph 16b? Any costs directly attributable to bringing the asset to the location and condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in the manner intended by management forms part of the cost of that PPE item. So now, if your asset is now in the location and condition necessary for its intended use, you stop adding costs incurred to the cost price of that item. These costs, for instance, like redeploying an item, are not included in the carrying amount of that item. Paragraph 20a. Costs incurred while an item that's capable of operating in the manner intended, it's ready for its intended use, has yet to be brought into use or is operated at less than full capacity. Any costs associated with that fact, it still has to be brought into use or it operates at less than full capacity. Those costs will not be included in the cost price of the PPE. Paragraph 20b. Initial operating losses. You just started using your machine. You're still running at a loss because you're not making enough profit yet. That loss associated with running at less than full capacity, that is still a cost to the company, but that cost will not form part of the cost price of your PPE. 20c. Cost of relocating or reorganizing part or all of an entity's operations. Your asset is ready for its intended use. Cost associated with relocating or reorganizing has got nothing to do with getting your asset ready for its intended use and will therefore not form part of the cost price. Paragraph 21. Some operations occur in connection with the construction or development of a PPE item, but are not necessary to bring the item to the location and condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in the manner intended by management. These incidental operations may occur before or during the construction or development activities. So you are busy constructing or developing a PPE item. While you're busy with that process, you incur some incidental costs and income. But those costs are not necessary to bring the intended asset PPE item to its intended use. Then those costs will also not form part of the PPE's cost. So again, you refer back to the general principle. An example that's given in this paragraph. For example, income may be earned through using a building site as a car park until construction starts. You have an open piece of land in Hatfield. The intention is to build a block of flats on that piece of land. While you're in the process of negotiating and getting the building process going, you use the piece of land as a car park for students. So you have to clean it a bit, so you incur costs. You put a security guard at the gate, that involves costs. You earn a little bit income. You ask the students 10 Rand a day to park there. that income, that cost, has got nothing to do with eventually building the block of flats. So those costs, that income, will be recognized through profit or loss as it is incurred. And you'll see that at the end of this paragraph. Because incidental operations are not necessary to bring an item to the location and condition necessary for it to be operating in the manner intended by management, these income and related expenses are recognized in profit or loss. So in summary, we're looking at initial measurement. We're still looking at cost. When do you stop adding cost items to the cost price of PPE? When the asset is in the location and condition to operate as intended by management. Incidental operations. These incidental operations are not necessary to bring this item to its location intended for operating as intended by management. So what do you do with those costs? It is recognized in profit or loss.